Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. With your so-called good economy, you can't pay teachers. So, aide to former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kofi Tonto has criticized the governing National Democratic Congress, accusing it of mismanaging the economy and failing to support public sector workers. In an interview, he rejected claims that the previous government left behind a junk economy. He argued that despite economic challenges, the Akufo-Addo administration ensured workers were protected, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. He contrasted this with what he described as worsening living conditions under the current government led by President John Mahama. With your so-called proper economy, you cannot even pay teachers, you can't pay nurses, electricity 27% increment, water 20%, sustainability tax, you've increased it to 3%. He added that the extension of the onset clause and new charges on insurance had further burdened citizens. So this is a former aide to former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kofi Tonto. He's saying that the current administration are claiming that they've stabilized the economy. They've claimed that everything is going on well. The cedi to the dollar is appreciating. Things are moving on so well. Why are they refusing to pay teachers? Why are they refusing to pay nurses? Because when we should look at the MPP administration, they paid nurses, they paid teachers, the economy was good, there was no demonstration, everything was going on well. So why is President Mahama and his government refusing to do the needful while they are claiming that the economy is on a good stance? Now, I want to remember him, maybe he has forgotten. The MPP never handled our economy well when they were in power. The truth is bitter, but you swallow it. You never handled our economy well. Before you left power, our economy was in shambles. The cost of living was very, very high. In fact, it was extreme. Things became so difficult. Prices of goods were skyrocketed. And then you sit here today to tell Ghanaians that the MPP government handled the economy very well. You claimed you paid nurses. Now, nurses, no crowd. Did you recruit them before you paid them? You claimed you paid teachers. The same teachers you never employed. So which teachers were you paying? It was during your term that we saw massive demonstration. We saw massive demonstration by UTAC. Every month, every day, every week, teachers were going on demonstration. Why? Because they were not paid. Why? Because the allowances they were supposed to receive was not being given to them. See, let's stop being ungrateful and let's stop politicizing issues. Let's be sincere to ourselves, at least to ourselves. Let's be sincere to ourselves. The fact that you were able to patch yourself with a politician and every day you'll be given something to buy water doesn't mean that it is the same way for the ordinary Ghanaian. Because let me tell you, the 8 years of the MPP was hell. It was hell. It was hell to us. So you don't sit at your comfort zone and then you rubbish the work of the current administration. And the city to the dollar is stabilized. We might not really feel the impact, but we are feeling it. Because cost of living might not be what we want, but it has been reduced. Transport has been reduced. Prices of fuel has been reduced. Petty things that when you go to market to buy that was expensive, at least it has been reduced. So you want toye. We might not be fully okay, but at least for the 50% here, we are okay. What did MPP do to Ghanaians? What did they do to us? Or what good did they do to us? I think the only thing you will say is free SHS. That is the only thing you can say. Even with the free SHS, it has a lot of problems. A lot. People embezzled state funds. If not for this current administration, there are certain things we will never know. Example is the NSS scandal. We will never know. Students who graduated from the university and are supposed to serve the government for 1 year has dedicated their service to the government, and then the money that was supposed to be paid to the coffers of, to the account of this NSS personnel has been diverted into a private account. If not for this current administration, we wouldn't have known. And then you sit here to say that the government is not doing anything good, the NDC government is not doing anything good. I feel like you should bow your head in shame. Because the very thing you said was not possible, they did it. You people made us believe that we can never disassociate ourselves with IMF. But with the NDC, they've proven to us that even without IMF, we can still exist. We can survive. We can live. We can make a change. And that is what we are doing. That is what we are seeing. And they are working towards that. You made us believe that our economy will never get stabilized. And then you keep blaming COVID-19. You keep blaming Russia, Ukraine war. And then today you sit down and you tell me, you tell Ghanaians, come on. We are not dumb. Oh. We can read. We've sat in class before. So we understand what is going on. Even a child that is born today will tell you the fact that things are moving on well. You are not seeing it because you are watching it from the lens of politics. That is why you are not seeing it. And that is my problem. The problem we have is that we use politics for everything. And so you know perfectly well that your government is not doing the right thing. But instead of you to say it, you're using politics. You want to paint a good picture. You want the MPP government to look so good. But no, let's be sincere to ourselves. You never helped us. You never helped us. You didn't. Tell me why you wait. So you see the reason why I said that most of the things the MPP did was so intentional. You were in power for 8 years. You did nothing. You didn't even recruit people. We saw instances where people graduated from school since 2012, since 2011, 2014, 2015, and they were still in the house. They were pleading on your government to recruit them 1 year. And then 4 months to election, 1 month for you to leave office, 3 days, you recruited them. And now you want to shift blame? Oh, no. No. It will not work like that. But one thing I want to assure you is that President Mahama is a listening president. President Mahama is not a president that jokes with the feelings of citizens. Everything he says, he meant it, and he will do it. President Mahama will pay salaries to teachers and nurses. Do you think he is a father? He knows how it feels. When you have a child and child graduates and the child doesn't get work to do, he knows how it feels. He knows how it feels like when you work and you don't get paid. He works with his head. So he has feelings. He will pay them. And you see, the more reason why I feel like the MPP always backtracks issues that does not need to be backtracked with politics is because they fear this man is doing a lot. They fear the NDC government is doing a lot. And so that is the excuse you can only give. Aside that, what else? Cocoa. Aside that, what else? Nothing. Nothing. Even if we should compare Mohammed's 1 year, if not for maybe some ordinary citizens being so ungrateful, if we should compare President Mohammed's 1 year in government to the MPP 8 years in government, oh, why be? Seriously, Moebi. Because even the debt that was incurred by your government has been paid by the NDC government. Project that you started and never completed. At the last ended State of Nation address, he said it that he's going to complete Agenda 111 hospital. That alone should make you bow your head in shame. Because money was allocated for that project. Scanner away. Where is the money? Where is the hospital? Where is it? You can't even account to us. You use that money and you cannot even account to us where that money is. And then you sit there and you tell Ghanaians that the so-called good economy they are talking about and they cannot even pay teachers. Were you able to pay teachers? Did you pay them? Did you recruit them? I think from now onwards, before some communicators comes out to speak, I think you should fast check certain things before you talk. It shouldn't only be you communicating for a particular party. Weigh it. Be sincere to yourself at least. Be sincere to the listeners. Be sincere to Ghanaians. Be sincere to them. People who don't believe the fact that the NDC government is doing his best, leave them. That is to their own cup of tea without sugar. But let's call a spade and not a big spoon. You can't see white and tell me it's yellow. You don't have color blindness. That is why we are saying that the NDC government, 1 year in power is better than 8 years. Imagine the MPP is still in power. Okay? We are so cratched. So please, we are begging you. Some things does not involve you buttressing it with politics. The NDC is doing massively well. Thank you for making time with me on the screen.